how he's getting on. So I'm just gonna go through these Nintendo Life reviews that I just want to look at, because there's been a lot of backlash towards it. I've had a lot of people talk to me as well about it, like saying that they are worried about it, kind of like, I don't know, almost having like a negative effect on this game and its sales, which were kind of dependent on for like future Digimon World games or whatever, and just the fact that people are just being deterred from this series because of the reviews themselves. So I have 2 reviews open. One, because I don't know, just I liked how salty they were about Cyber Soup, so I'll go through that one as well. So I mean, like, if I can do anything with this to kind of like, I don't know, push for people to actually try the game before they go fucking like knock it, I mean, like, yeah, might do something like that. Well, the game isn't even hard. I don't even choose. Yeah, that's it. It's not that hard of a game. It's actually the most like user friendly for newcomers. I mean, like, it's one of the better games for that, especially in the World Series. Doing good. What is it? Mad at the beginner mode? I'm not too sure. I haven't even read the review. I've just been hearing so much backlash today over. So actually, I heard about this a few days ago, but I said fuck it, I'm just gonna check it out anyways. Wait, Friday, was that today? Yeah, it was Friday. Okay, so I've heard about this. I know someone said it to me there last over the weekend. Someone said it to me the last time I was streaming anyways. You don't have Riz, that's all you gotta know. Hey, no worries. If I don't have no Riz, I mean, I'm fine with that. I wanted to leave it at the review as a comment, but it's too big. Hey, no worries. I can have a quick look anyways, and I can read over it. Like I says, I even have a thread going on Twitter that I'm trying to start. If anyone wants to leave any reviews from any YouTubers, you know, anyone that's giving fair reviews, not just a fucking, I know, not to dick ride the fucking game, but just to give fair reviews. I felt my own review was very fair. I did criticize it where I felt like it needed criticism, but I did overall, I had a decent time with the game. Anyways, the only way is easy mode. That right there just tells me you played it on beginner mode, or did you play on easy or beginner? Either way, I mean, you set yourself up for the best run in the game. If you couldn't do it, I mean, I don't know, you weren't reading maybe? Oh, it's just a lot of fucking text. I didn't realize there was so much text. We'll try to fly through the same as far as I can. I gotta put down chat for a sec just to read through this. Just like any franchise that's been doing going as long as it has, Digimon video games have had plenty of ups and downs. Digimon World Next Order was first released in 2016, which I actually looked for their review of that, and it seems like they've gotten rid of it, even though they followed, like, they documented everything up to release. I can't find a review on their website. I'm just wondering if they've deleted it or not, if someone else can find it and link it to me. I did manage to find the Cyber Suit one, which I'm going to swiftly kind of jump through as well. What was it? With a PlayStation 4 release making its way to the West the following year, since then it's enjoyed enough of a cult following that has been ported to PC and Switch years later. Perhaps owing to its origins on Sony's handheld console, it feels right at home with Switch, but Digimon World Next Order is still a title that struggles to find its footing. The opening of, I don't think it struggles to find its footing though. I mean, like, they've fixed so much. I assume that means like they don't know what they're doing when they're making the game. They're still kind of like trying to tweak shit. I can kind of see that in some areas, but overall, like, this one functionally is one of the better Digimon games. The opening of the game throws players into a tense battle between, I thought he said an intense battle. I was like, that's a tutorial, buddy. Between two highly evolved Digimon companions, a powerful opponent. Serves as a tutorial for the combat system. Fights play until in real time. Initiative, but they only have accrued enough order points. Okay. You make this sound like, yeah, this is a tutorial. It literally plays itself practically. It just tells you to press 1 or 2 buttons. More elaborate attacks require more mana and order points to use. You don't require order points to use it, but go on. But the combat system itself is fairly simple to get your head around, particularly. Okay, so you've admitted it's kind of easy. Lower level, paying attention. Where the fuck are you getting into? Because I mean, like, so far it seems like it's not too bad. Battling is the only way to gain straight in Digimon World Next Order. We would argue that it isn't even the best way. It's not the best way. Battling isn't the best way to gain stats. What the fuck? Have I been playing this game wrong for years? We'll send them to the gym. Okay, these don't know what they're doing, which allows you to choose a specific. No. Chance you have you? Because I'm pretty sure there's Digimon in the city that tell you to go out and battle. Did you read what you were doing, or did you just fucking jump in and think you just progressed? Chances are you'll spend most of your time here grinding away. No. This is a bit of the game. I do spend a lot of time in the gym, but that's literally because I'm just too lazy to run out and trying to fucking battle. But yeah, if you're playing it properly, you'll go out and battle. Okay. Services. Tag you on Discord. Thank you. This is a bit of a game, frankly, isn't very fun. Okay, it's repetitive to the point of... It's not, though. I mean, it's kind of like maths. I don't mind it. I think it's alright. I mean, like, if you're going to do maths and Pokemon, like, I'm pretty sure you're probably going to mention Pokemon somewhere along the line. But yeah, if fucking... You do maths for fucking Pokemon and shit as well, for if you're trying to fucking gain your stats as well. So, I mean, like, that's pretty much what this is. But this is a very tedious way of doing it. I will say, if you're going to the gym, it is very tedious. You are better off to go to the map, to the fucking overworld and battle that way. Care for a child, you need to get your partners to a restaurant before they make a mess somewhere. The mechanic makes the game feel like a strange cross between a virtual pet simulator and an RPG. Funny, I think that's what it's supposed to be. But the mechanics take care of your partner's physical needs. Clumsy implement. I don't think so. I think they're actually fairly well. They've even synced them up to make it nice and easy for you. If you were to go by what they actually had, like in the original, where they all had their own like schedules, like their own sleep times, like some were nocturnal, some were, you know, wait during the day. I mean, it probably would have been worse. So they actually dumbed it down for us in this one to make it way easier. Each time you send a Digimon to the gym, they accrue a bit of fatigue, as you would expect. Eventually they'll need to take a rest. That can be done in the gym itself, but resting only removes a small amount of fatigue unless you get some stats. If you can raise your trainer level and you can fix that. I mean, you have to go through the same dialogue repeatedly, but it's not even that expensive. It's just like, I could be wrong, but I think it's only like 3 points to do that, to make that actually worth it. As frustratingly slow process, it could even be drastically improved by offering an option to rest until all fatigue is gone. I think that's a fair criticism. I think you could opt to rest until all fatigue is gone, but there are other ways to... Hey, DBRPG! There are other ways to decrease your fatigue. You have lemons, there's oranges you can get drinks. Drinks are actually very, very affordable as well in the game. Like, if you beat like 1 or 2 Goblimon, you can buy a couple of drinks for your Digimon. And like it says, they will improve their Digimon friendship together, so that helps out your EXE evolution, but it will also bring down their fatigue. So they clearly haven't bothered to really play the game, because in the very first section you can find a vending machine with a shit ton of items. They obviously just never really bothered with that. Unfortunately, you likely spend hours engaging in a cycle of training and resting, or... No. Okay, so this whole section here is just fucking wrong. If happens, they'll revert back to an egg. Wait. Die once... Wait. Unfortunately, you'll likely spend hours engaging in the cycle of training and resting your... No, you're playing the game wrong. If you're literally staying here from the time they're born until they die, you're playing the game very wrong. I mean, you can see, like, I finished pretty much a whole chapter with just one generation of Digimon in my own playthrough. Granted, I know what I'm doing, but I'm playing on an easy mode. It is possible to do. See, I haven't played the game yet, but I think it's my Vpet toy, but in the video game with a story, so I'll train... that's pretty much it. Yeah, it's just a Vpet. The story is secondary. This is about exploration and just raising Digimon. That's all this is. This is like that experience that we want to kind of like get to be brought to the digital world and get to explore it. That's what this is. And personal right to review isn't playing the game. They're not because they're not implementing any of the items by the sounds of it. They're literally just in the gym, and that's all they've done. They haven't tried to progress outside of it by the sounds of it. They haven't even mentioned about battling. They've just said about staying in the gym, which is very wrong. Because I mean, you've seen me, I just stay in certain areas to grind it up. You've seen many other streamers as well, I'd say, play it, and that's how they do it. Can we talk about the real life Pikachu? We can do that in a bit. But yeah, real life Pikachu was fucking creepy. Reason spending so much time in the gym grinding no stats through training is because of sudden and devastating difficulty spikes. There are difficulty spikes in the game, but this is where planning comes into it. There are there's fucking, what's it called? There's a weakness and resistance kind of thing in the game. That whole system, you could easily look up or I don't know, figure it out exactly what that is. It's very easy to do. But yeah, the difficulty spikes are there. I'll admit that. But if you're hitting a difficulty spike, it's because you haven't trained enough. If you're only training in the gym, you're losing so much benefits that you can get from training in battle, and you can actually explore while you battle. So yeah, I don't know. They're cutting out so much. They're trying to cut so many corners. So maybe 2 moves. That's it. I don't understand. Hey, Jen Mars, how are you? So far, it seems like the most forgiving of all the Vpet That's it. It genuinely is. It genuinely is. This one, they've kind of tweaked a lot of stuff that wasn't in the original Digimon World. Drinks were in Decode. They were in Decode, but they added a little bit more stuff to it by having them actually, you know, it's almost like you're going out for a few beers with a friend, I suppose, for your Digimon, so they can increase their friendship while they have a drink or whatever. So it's like they have added some extra elements to the food, and there's a lot of food items in this game that really can drastically change how you play the game. Because also, when you do get to the point where you can camp, which I don't think they've even got this far, which is actually very early in the game, I think it's right at its very start, like very 2 or 3 hours, you can actually get a tent where you can cook for your Digimon and increase their stats a lot better, as well as going to the restaurant, which will also bring up your stats, and you won't even have to do all this training. Like, I genuinely could make a whole run on this game, not once touch a gym, and I'd be fine. I've often had to the point, and I'd say if you go watch one of my streams when I come on in the future, maybe the next one, when my Digimon die, I'm gonna be starting like training by having my in-training Digimon out in the field battling. That's how I intend to carry on with it. But yeah, it's I don't know, this is kind of dumb. I think it's Toy Costume Dinosaur Digimon, I forget his name. Sorry, no. Why is it always Nintendo fans? I know. I actually opened up a Cybersuit review because I said, fuck it, I want to see what they thought of Cybersuit. Just because that's some more Pokemon-esque, I suppose, just because it's like very generic RPG. I did have a look at the last line. The last line is fucking, it's a kick. I fucking love it. Anyways, Digimon were knocked out within 30 seconds. It took us 15 hours to reach a point where we had a team that could take the game's first boss. 15 hours to... What? No, on easy mode. There are 3 difficulty options: Digimon World Next Order, beginner, easy, normal. We found that normal was too much of a grind. That's true. Normal is a big grind, or especially if you're only using the gym and you're not using items. Fairly thin as it is. Once we dropped, I'm going to drop a guide. I keep saying I'm going to do it. I've just been very busy the last couple of days, but tomorrow evening I'm going to record and drop a guide. As even on Hazard stream earlier, he says there's not a whole lot out there and everyone has their own way. I feel like the way I do it is the best way to do it, and that's just not me being cocky. That's just what's worked for me. So everyone has a different playstyle. I understand that with Next Order, so I do want to put out my own guide out there to show how I play, just kind of like, because I mean, like, I feel like from the streams I've done recently, people have seen that I can play the game. I do kind of understand what I'm doing, and I can explain stuff. So I feel like if I do my own guide, people can kind of like work off of that, and just, it's a little bit more information for people that are out there, especially because like I am able to take on a Machine Dramon with a Numamon and be able to actually do it. So I feel like a lot of people that are new probably will end up with Numamon. It could help those guys that are probably going to be the most likely to just fall off the game. Sprinting and cooking alone are great additions. The cooking was actually they were in the Vita version. That was actually in the Vita version, and you can actually increase your cooking skill a couple of times to make even better recipes that do even bigger stat gains. So I don't understand. They haven't played the game at all. 15 hours, and if you haven't got to the cooking in the game, I don't know what's wrong. Again, I do kind of blame Bandai for not really mentioning this in the trailer. Actually, they probably did mention that in the trailer. I could be wrong. They probably have mentioned that in the trailer. But I do think that they only focus on some of the newer editions, but I don't think they realize there are new eyes in this game. You have to talk about more than the 2 new features that you added to it. Otherwise, people are going to think, well, that's the only fucking thing you added. Graphics are a bit dated. Did they just fucking call a 7-year-old game dated? I'm sorry, what the fuck? Okay, soundtrack forever is fantastic. I like however, it's fantastic. Yeah, I like soundtrack from the opening theme to the song. Okay, I like soundtrack. However, the actual gameplay lets the title down massively, and the decision to not include... No, you don't know what you're doing. To not include the original Japanese voice tracks in the Switch version is just baffling. I do agree, that's very annoying. I made my review and I didn't actually know that at that point, because fuck it. I'm not sure, did I mention that in my review? I'm not too sure. But anyways, I do think the fact that the Switch version didn't get the Japanese voice is kind of annoying. Because I actually enjoy the Japanese voice more so than the English. Like, I've always complained about them on stream, about how I just don't like the voices in the English one. They don't suit. I feel like the Japanese ones do more. I feel so researching. It feels like researching is part of the experience as a Digimon fan. It really is. If you're especially into Digimon World, now I'm not gonna lie, Next Order has a lot of information, and to be honest, even the original Digimon games, besides their evolution stuff, all the information is there. The idea of these games is exploration. It's about you going into the world. I think even if you look at some of the earlier the press meetings or whatever that they had about Next Order, was they actually spoke about how the games are built on you as a person, how you interact with the digital world, and how you come to learn to survive in that world with your Digimon. So exploration is a huge thing, and with that is also getting to know the Digimon in town. They'll all tell you like hints, like if you talk to Euromon, you talk to Bodemon, they'll tell you what's going on. I remember even looking back on it, is the Digimon that are in the bank in the original Digimon World. You've got Poyomon, who tells you about evolution requirements. He doesn't tell you exactly what they are, but he'll tell you weight is a huge thing. Now, I have managed to get on a lot of my streams and a lot of my like solo playthroughs on my own. You can get to ultimate really quick. I've had Metal Greymon first try, I've had Skull Greymon first try, I've had Mega, I've had a lot of them, like really strong Digimon, and all that's, I barely trained. I literally just focus on weight, because that's what Poyomon told me. If you listen to what the Digimon tell you in these games, you can get by without a guide even. You just have to come to terms with how it is. Now, obviously, because it is very vague, I've played these games for fucking 20 years or whatever, so I mean, like, yeah, I kind of like, I understand what I'm doing, but I do understand how it's not like that anymore. Games now are a little bit more hand-holdy. They tell you a lot more, whereas Next Order doesn't really do that. It just really throws you in there, pretty much the same as the original one back in '99. So I do understand nowadays with YouTube and stuff, guides are a lot easier to access and probably should be made. Probably should be a little bit more information included in the games too. Says the people who look at Pokemon Sword and Shield and says it looks good. Oh my god, really? I don't really bother with Nintendo Life, to be honest. It's not a magazine or online website I really bother with. Speaking of Spooky Pikachu today, there's a gothic dark fantasy themed turn-based RPG called the Tomatiga. I'm sorry, I can't fucking say that. You summon demons to fight for you. That actually sounds awesome. This game makes you learn as you go, or you can't progress. Pretty much, that's literally the idea of Digimon World. It's literally, like it says, you're like the kids in Digimon Adventure. You've been brought to the digital world. You don't understand what this world is. That's the idea, is exactly that. You don't know what this world is, and you learn to adapt. That's completely the idea behind this. So I don't understand. I don't get it. And they 15 hours. 15 hours. And they didn't even use items. That kills me. A Vpet, where you feed your Digimon. They didn't think to feed their Digimon items. A 4 out of 10. That was the conclusion. Digimon World Next Order is an open world RPG that's too much of a grind to recommend. While the music and graphics have their charm, you just said the graphics sucked. They're totally overshadowed by the unbalanced difficulty. I wouldn't say it's unbalanced. Highly repetitive training mechanics, no they're not. And some very strange design choices. Unless you're a die-hard fan of Digimon, okay. So they pretty much told you stay the fuck away from this for any new fans. They don't want any new people to come to this. What I will say is no, they're very wrong on pretty much all accounts. I'll admit the training in the gym can get repetitive, but there's ways around that. Like it says, feed your items, feed your Digimon vegetables, and that'll increase certain stat gains that you can get in the gym. But I do also not recommend to train in the gym. I recommend go to the field. Go to the field and battle. Not nearly as grindy as this guy. I was just gonna say, these people, they wouldn't last. Playing a 90s JRPG, it wouldn't last. But yeah, it sucks that they went out of their way to write this. It's just because, like, I don't know, I feel like as a journalist you should probably understand what you're getting into. You should probably research it a bit more. This seems like they done no research at all. I don't know. I'm gonna look at their Cybersuit one, just because I seen that there and it was a funny line at the end that I just want to have a look at. So I'll kind of read the whole review because yeah, shits and giggles. Straight away I'm seeing pocket monsters in the first line. I didn't actually even see that the first time. How many times are you going to mention Pokemon this? You've got to admire Bandai for releasing a monster capturing battle RPG just weeks before a selection of Pocket Monster Swarm Nintendo Switch, but Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth Complete Edition offers more than enough in the way of different mechanics and content for those looking for an alternative to Game Freak's monster catching behemoth. Okay, so we've twice in one paragraph. Fair fucking play. Actually, just twice in one sentence. Fair play to Jesus fucking Christ. This complete edition bundles, okay, we know what it does. Both are set between Tokyo and virtual utopia known as Eden, where players fucking avatars can interact just like in the real world. Some are salubrious, or whatever the fuck that means. Cyber Sleuth sees players set up shoes. Okay, trying to skip through a little bit. We understand the story, we know what it is. What do you actually think of it though? Despite the name suggesting some fact-finding and detective work, there's no real sleuthing to do here. It's called Digimon Story. It's in the story. You don't actually do it. It's told to you. It's in the story. That's what it is. There's plenty of everything. Okay, solid 90 hours or so of content. We definitely recommend playing Cyber first. Otherwise, it feels like you're thrown into the world where the rules are gently touched. Okay, that's fair enough. That's fair. The plot is techno-babble in reality and feels like it's very 90s flavors depiction of digital life. Potentially a design choice, but also, okay, I'd say that's a design choice. I mean, to be honest. This seems so far it's okay. While exploring and chatting your various NPCs in the overworld and battling monsters and turn-based combat may sound familiar, I hate that. I hate that. They're literally trying to say an RPG is a Pokemon ripoff. Not like without even mentioning. Oh, I don't know. Both titles here offer enough to distance themselves from those inevitable Pokemon comparisons, but you've literally drawn so many from nowhere. For one, monsters here evolve. Sorry, Digivolve. Oh, they're salty when they write this. They don't like Digimon. These people are not Digimon fans. Is this the same guy? Please say it's the same guy. Lloyd Combs. Okay, fuck it. Oh man, these people are so fucking salty. I mean, like, it is Nintendo life. I mean, what the fuck did I expect? I say that like not in a way to kind of like demean them or whatever. That's just me saying it's Nintendo life. They're obviously gonna focus on Nintendo properties is what I'm trying to get at there. But they also can devolve, offering up more options and further. It's Digivolve, but okay. For further evolutions, it means that there's plenty of versatility to be found in the creature nurturing system, and I wouldn't call this one a creature nurturing system. Creature nurturing system would be Digimon World, but then a Pokemon fan wouldn't really know what a nurturing system is because it doesn't actually exist in that game, even though they like to say it does. Ultimate Team of Critters takes them serious. Okay. I love how this is just literally battle of two salty motherfuckers. Secondly, battles aren't one-on-one affairs. Oh no. But they're not in Pokemon either. Okay, this makes having a balanced line of Digimon elemental affinities incredibly important. That's fair. That's nice tactical shit. I do enjoy that there's tactics involved in this. What did Philip Meter? Okay, what's your actual thoughts? You're just explaining what it is. You're actually breaking down what you think of it. You're just giving me what it is. Feeds into the game's difficulty. This is just an overview of what the game is. Do you have an opinion on the game? Did you play the game or did you just read the fucking box? On the plus side, it makes Digimon Story the ideal game to play. Okay, so you had me read through all this shit to explain the game to me, which fair enough. You probably want to know if you're new into the game, but I mean, you could research that as well. Before you go looking for reviews, I say you probably want to do that. Ideal game to play in a portable form, grind up levels on the sofa or a bus or train journey. It also helps that while the game isn't all that demanding visually, it feels most at home with the Switch's portable screen. That's fair. Digital, okay, that's fair. Aside from the campaign, there's a multiplayer battling to be done as well, either through local wireless play or online, and if nothing else, a fun chance to compare strategies and lineups for other players. Okay, so they genuinely had a decent kind of like, ooh, they summed up in 3 sentences what they could have done. But yeah, Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth Complete Edition is content-packed RPG with plenty to see and do. Evolution system feels wholly unique when compared to another monster breeding game series you might fight. Oh my god, these salty motherfuckers. And while the grind may be too much for some, it's not really grind. You get your tactician USBs and you've no grind whatsoever. It's comfortably one of the best creature catches in the Switch, although Pokemon still holds I don't know. This just I find this shit hilarious that people actually are still getting like that rivalry that's still there after all these years. I don't know. I find it fucking hilarious that they're still going on about this shit when I feel like Digimon from the start has always done something to keep itself separate, but like Pokemon nerds just kind of jump in. I say that I'm a Pokemon nerd myself, but like people like fans of Pokemon will always come in and just find a way to bash anything that's a monster raising game that's not Pokemon, and it just really bothers me. Now I'm gonna be chopping this up a lot because I want to keep this like somewhat short, but also trying to get my point across. Have you seen read Kotaku's review of Digimon Survive? So I'm saying I have read that one and I thought that was fucking hilarious. I didn't actually get to put it out. It's 7 out of 10. Is it rated a 7 out of 10? I mean, oh, it's an 8. It's an 8. I think that's fair. That's fair. They mentioned Pokemon more times than Digimon in a post. But yes, they did. That's what bothers me the most about Digimon or Pokemon stuff. Jen Mars, I'm not sure how familiar you are with the channel. A couple of weeks ago, I read through an article that was going through all the Pokemon rip-offs as there were, but it was literally just any property that was released in the 90s. So I do recommend have a look at that because there's a lot of shit like this. If you found this funny, there's a lot of shit like that. Objectively, they both bow to SMT, yes, when Dragged into Space Pokemon lives in, but Pokemon and Digimon have designs I vastly prefer. I kind of like them all, but yeah, I see what you're saying. Digimon is the one I go to more so, just because I love the whole like monsters, like fucking mix of like all sorts of shit. There's demons, there's angels, there's dinosaurs, there's beasts, insects. They've got everything in there. I like that. But they also have them done in a more kind of like feral kind of way, I suppose. Need to add more research and explore into more Digimon along putting more of the lower Digimon like Team Cracker, and yeah, I want to see more of this stuff. They're gonna do Seekers. I hope Seekers gets some sort of a game spin-off, or at least that the lore from Seekers comes in somewhere else, because Seekers gonna focus on actual Digimon lore that's been lesser explored, although Cybersuit is almost a follow-on from the stuff that went on in Digimon version S, which we never got over here. It does deal with like all that stuff, but I think the crack team kind of like comes from version S in some ways too. Digimon Story Seekers, that's what I'm saying. It would actually be awesome. It would be a great way to kind of visualize that world as well, as it's only going to be a graphic novel. But I do want to talk about Seekers in a video of its own. It's just been so much shit been relating to games that I've been wanting to talk about. See now. Plus in Digimon you raise your Digimon for real, like train and feed. That's it. Pokemon is a Formula RPG. Pokemon is literally just any traditional RPG. They just added some monsters in there, which is a cool kind of a twist, but again, like Twilord says there, it comes from SMT, fucking what's that fucking Dragon Quest 5. There's a few things where Pokemon kind of got its ideas from, and the monster raising mechanic was kind of like, it's been done before, it's been done. But yeah, I think it's kind of like funny how people are still salty about like a competitor to Pokemon existing out there. Like, it can't get any sort of traction at all, or you know, they have to jump on it. I mean, not gonna lie, okay, Digimon games lately, I'm not gonna say Digimon games in the past were fucking amazing, because we all know they had their issues, but I feel like nowadays Digimon games have a lot less issues than a Pokemon game does, and they're a lot less dividing when they come out. Granted, Survive did divide a lot of people. That was because of a lack of research and a lack of information going on with that. But yeah, like I said, this has kind of gone on for quite a while. I think it's about an hour long. I'm gonna try and chop this up so that there's something up for you for tomorrow, so that there's a bit more of a concise kind of like conversation around this. But yeah, do make sure to I don't know, like, stream, share, stream, all that normal shite that YouTubers say. And yeah, I'll see you again. Bye bye.